रंजना यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय गौरानिताई 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 जय गौरानिताई जय प्रभुपादा 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 जय प्रभुपादा ताई गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल विश्वपाद ब्रह्मस प्रभाजी का आचार्य स्तोत्र श्री श्रीमद कृष्ण कृपाशिमूर्ति ऐसी भक्तिमान महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय श्री श्री गौनताई की जय श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय समवेद भक्त वृंद की जय गौर प्रमानंदे हरि हरि बोल ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gaurango. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 24. अहम ही सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु माम् अभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेन तश्चरन्ति ते अहम ही सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु मामभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेन तश्चरन्ति ते अहम ही सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु मामभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेन तश्चरन्ति ते अहम ही सर्वयज्ञानां Mukta cha prabhurev cha natu mam abhijananti tattvanatascha vantite. Aham hi sarva yajnanam Bhakta cha prabhurev cha natu mam abhijananti tattvanatascha vantite. Aham hi sarva yajnanam Bhakta cha prabhurev cha natu mam abhijananti tattvanatascha vantite. Aham hi sarva yajnanam Bhakta cha prabhurev cha natu mam abhijananti tattvanatascha vantite. Mataji. Aham hi sarva yajnanam Bhakta cha prabhurev cha natu mam abhijananti tattvanatascha vantite. Word for word. Aham, I, he, surely, sarva, of all, yajnanam, sacrifices, bhokta, the enjoyer, cha, and Prabhu, the Lord, eva, also, cha, and na, not, to, but, mam, me, abhijananti, they know, tattvena, in reality, ataha, therefore, chavanti, fall down, they. Translation. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Please repeat. I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Here it is clearly stated that there are many types of yajna performances recommended in the Vedic literatures. But actually, all of them are meant for satisfying the Supreme Lord. Yajna means Vishnu. In the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly stated that one should only work for satisfying Vishnu, satisfying Yajna or Vishnu. The perfectional form of human civilization, known as Varnashram Dharma, is specifically meant for satisfying Vishnu. Therefore, Krishna says in this verse, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices because I am the Supreme Master. Less intelligent persons, however, without knowing this, worship demigods for temporary benefit. Without knowing this fact, worship demigods for temporary benefit. Therefore, they fall down to material existence and do not achieve the desired goal of life. If, however, anyone has any material desire to be fulfilled, he had better pray for it to the Supreme Lord, although that is not pure devotion, and he will thus achieve the desired result. मम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभयश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं भङ्गं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यईश्वरम्। अहं हि सर्वज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु मामभिजानन्ति तत्त्वनात्यश्चिवन्ति ते। I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. This chapter is entitled as Rajvidya, Rajguhi Yoga. So most confidential knowledge has been enunciated in this chapter. Rajvidya Rajguhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyaksh Avgamam Dharmam Susukham Kartumabhyam. In the very beginning of this chapter, the Lord has clearly stated that this chapter is different from others. Bhagavad Gita itself is known as Brahma Vidya. Shrimad Bhagavad Gita Shu Upanishadstu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjun Samvade Rajvidya Rajguhi Yoga Nam Navamo Adhyaya. So this is known as Brahma Vidya. Elsewhere the Lord says Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam. Amongst all these sciences, I am the spiritual science. So the Vedic knowledge is so vast. There's so many arts and sciences. But amongst all the arts and sciences, even in the Vedic literature, there are 6 kinds of philosophies. So the philosophy we follow as Gaudiya Vaishnavas is Vedanta philosophy. And you know the famous story how Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan Prabhu, he protected the reputation of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. He established Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya as bona fide Sampradaya. How? By presenting a commentary on Vedanta Bhasya, Vedanta Sutra. The Bhasya is known as Govinda Bhashya. Because in 3 days' time, Govindji, Shri Radha Govind Dev Ji, dictated Vedanta Sutra Bhashya two Baldev Vidyabhushan Prabhus. Therefore, we are a bona fide sampradaya because we have our own commentary of Vedanta Sutra, Brahma Sutra. So, amongst all the sciences, then Krishna is saying, Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam. And amongst those vidyas, amongst those sciences, then what Krishna is speaking here in Bhagavad Gita is topmost. And what the Lord is speaking in Bhagavad Gita, this chapter is one of the topmost chapter. Why? Because in this chapter you find a verse, Manamanabha, Madbhakto, Madhyaji, Mam Namaskuru, Mame Veshyasi Yukteva, Mahatmana Matparayana. So this verse is repeated twice in Bhagavad Gita. In 9th chapter and then again in 18th chapter. So here, the Lord is saying, Aham sarvajnana bhoktacha prabhurevacha. He is revealing something confidential. And this is very confidential part of the Vedic teachings, that Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer of all the sacrifices. And He is the ultimate master. So, you might remember the verse from the 5th chapter, last verse. Bhoktaram yajna saptapasam sarvalok maheshwaram suhidam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shanti mritchati. So Prabhupada explains that this verse is the peace formula for the humanity. So people are restless, suffering. Why? Because they can't accept three things. All our suffering will vanish if we can simply accept three things. Do you know what those three things are? First, Bhoktaram Yakatapsam. Krishna says, I am the Bhakta, the enjoyer of all yajnas, sacrifices, all the penances. So Krishna is the enjoyer. So, first thing we need to accept, Krishna is the enjoyer of all the sacrifices, all the austerities. Krishna is the enjoyer. Second, Sarvalok Maheshwaram. The Lord says that I am the master of all the planetary systems. So here we say, Prabhurevacha, Bhoktacha, Prabhurevacha. So these two things are same in this verse and also in the last verse of Bhagavad Gita. Then the third one is Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. That Krishna is the well-wishing friend. Suhrid, there are three types of friends. One, acquaintance. Somebody we know, but we don't have very close personal relationship. That is also a friend. Like people have so many Facebook friends, you know. But are they real friends? No. They are not real friends. Some people have thousands of Facebook friends. If you open a Facebook account, you can get so many friends. Because people send friend requests, you can send friend request, you become friend. And sometimes it so happens that when you meet the real person, you say, I know, we are friends on Facebook. And he says, what? The person doesn't know you. You don't know him. But sometimes there are big scandals. People become friends and they move from one country to another country to marry somebody who they met in Facebook. And then there is a disaster in their life. So that is one type of friendship. Acquaintance. Second type of friends are those we relate. There is exchange of relationship, give and take. So that friendship is there. You become friends with somebody at work, you become friends with somebody at school, college, university. That type of friendship is a little closer, but better than acquaintance. But third type of friends are those who you may not treat well, but they always wish you well, and they do things for you without even your notice. They're always caring for you and wanting good for you. And that friends of category is parents. Parents. So children may be unruly, disobedient, but parents, they remain friends for life. Friends, they're always well-wishing. Suhirdam. So the Lord is using the word Suhirdam Sarvbhutanam in chapter 5, verse 28. Suhirdam. Suhirdam is the type of friend who is not expecting anything in return, but they are always doing some good to you. Like the parents do throughout the life. Nowadays, of course, may be different. So you see this Vedic culture that in Bharatvarsh, the parents take so much responsibility. The child is grown up, gone to university, graduated, but got no job. Then parents look after you. And then the child gets married, no job, still look after you. Then they have children, still no job, or not fixed job, still look after you. It's not like that in the West. After 16 years of age, the parents tell children, go and get a job. It doesn't matter whether you are a boy or a girl, the parents will tell children, go and get a job. And sometimes, the children have to pay rent to their own parents. So that is one type of friendship. A parental friendship. So Krishna is what sort of friend? He is Suhrit. He is a kind of friend who will never leave you, no matter what situation. Because Krishna is sitting in our heart. And He knows what we are going through. And He is guiding us. Isvara sarvabhutanam hirdesya arjun tishtati Brahmyan sarvabhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. So in this machine, the bodily machine, we are traveling, the soul is traveling. Along with the soul, one more person is traveling, and that is Paramatma. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto. So Krishna is sitting in our hearts, He is traveling. Now imagine how deep is Krishna's friendship towards the living being, that He is accompanying them in all situations. So this is confidential part of knowledge. Bhoktara aham sarvajnanam bhoktacha prabhurevacha. So Krishna is Bhokta. Bhokta of all sacrifices. And this is confidential part of knowledge. So what happens if somebody accepts these three facts? That Krishna is the enjoyer, Krishna is the master of all planet systems, and Krishna is the well-wishing friend. What will happen? Then the Lord says, Gyatamam shantim richati. Such a person will attain peace. So now we can see that those who do not accept Krishna as the enjoyer of all sacrifices, then the master of all planet systems, then the well-wishing friend of all the living beings, what happens to them? They attain demoniac nature to some degree or the other. Example, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravana. Did they accept Krishna as the enjoyer of all sacrifices? They did not. So, the problem with the demons is that they fall to another category of performers of sacrifices, like Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha. They all knew the Vedic culture. of performing sacrifice. They knew the scriptures. Like Ravana, he knew the scriptures. He was a Mahapandit. But did he accept Lord Ram as the enjoyer of all sacrifices? No. He did not accept Lord Ram as the husband of Mother Sita. Mother Sita is Lakshmi. So Lakshmi is enjoyed by Vishnu. Lord Ram is Vishnu. He did not accept him. And yet, same Ravana, he worshipped Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva. Why? For his own interest. So he worshipped the demigods for his own interest. And this is what Krishna says in the verse previous to this. So in the previous verse we see Eyappan Devata Bhakta Yajante Shraddhanivata Tebi Mamev Kaunte Yajanti Abhidhi Purvakam. So we have to take reference from this verse. So the Lord is saying thus, who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti. But they do so in a wrong way. So was Rama worshipping Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva in a right way or a wrong way? In a wrong way. So this is the problem with demigods, that they accept this is the problem with the demons, that they accept demigods as superior to Vishnu. So they want to kill Vishnu and take Vishnu's place, but in order to achieve this, if they have to worship demigods, they do that. Kansa did it. Kansa in Mathura, he was a devotee of Mahamaya. So that's why Ashtabhugi Durga appeared before him to give him warning, because that was his deity. Kansa's deity was, his worshipable deity was Durga Devi. So Mahamaya appeared in front of him to warn him, because she is the only one he will listen to. So we can see the general tendency in demons that they worship demigods but defy Vishnu. Hiranyakashipu did this. He worshipped Lord Brahma because he was very learned. The son of Kashyap Muni, Hiranyakashipu was very learned. And he knew who to approach if you want certain things. So, for example, if you want learning, to achieve perfection in learning, who do you approach? Mother Saraswati. If you want wealth, who do you approach? Mahalakshmi. And if you want to get a good husband or a good wife, you worship Uma Devi, Mahamaya. If somebody wants good husband, worship Lord Shiva. Similarly, if somebody wants the authority over all the planetary systems, then you worship Lord Brahma. So Hiranyakashipu worshipped Lord Brahma. And he achieved what he was looking for, almost. But he did not accept Krishna, Vishnu, as the enjoyer of all sacrifices. So he was performing sacrifices, but he did not accept the master of sacrifices as the enjoyer of sacrifices. Why? Because they want to take that place. So similarly, in modern age, these mini Hiranyakashipus or mini Ravanas or mini Kanshas, they also do the same thing. They worship the material nature. They study the material nature, and yet they defy God. In Cambridge University, there was a very world-renowned professor of physics, Stephen Hawking. So he is considered a great authority. But he did not accept God. Throughout his life, he studied nature. He was completely disabled. So he used to write books through his eyebrows. Such a great scientist. He could write books through his eyebrows because all the computers around him were or set in such a way that the screen will come and he will dictate to the screen through his eyebrows. So even such a scientist, such an astonishing brain, he did not accept Krishna's authority, God. So they have made movie on him, The Theory of Everything, a Hollywood movie. Such a great scientist. So he tried to explain the theory of everything, but there's no God. So this is the irony of modern education, that they miss the knowledge, confidential knowledge of Vedic scriptures. Bhoktaram yagyatabsham. So they don't accept God's authority, but they study the material nature. So great scientists like Stephen Hawking or other atheistic scientists, they study the material nature and they're totally amazed to study the nature, how amazing it is. There was another scientist in the University of Reading in England. For 50 years he wrote books, there is no God, God is dead. 50 years he wrote books. After 50 years, then he was studying the formation of DNA. We all have DNA. So he was studying the chemical formation of DNA and he was completely amazed. So towards the end of his career, atheistic career, he said, I cannot understand anybody who can make such complex formation as DNA except God. So even after 50 years, he accepted that there must be somebody as powerful as God who can make complex formation of DNA. So these three things are difficult for atheistic people to accept. Bhoktaram yagyatabsam. Sarvalok Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. Three things. And if somebody can accept these three things, then they attain peace. And if somebody don't accept these three things, but the opposite of these three things, like Bhoktaram Yagatabhasham, Krishna is saying, I am the Bhokta of all the sacrifices. But when a person wants to be Bhokta, then they will suffer, no matter how great they are. So demons also perform sacrifices. Let me give you some good examples of some bad examples of demons, some good examples of devotees. So performance of sacrifice is inevitable. Yaggo Vaisa or Yaggo Vai Vishnu. Sacrifices are meant for the satisfaction of Vishnu. And if they are not performed for the satisfaction of Vishnu, then they will become disastrous. So you know the story of Vrikasur. He was performing sacrifice, wasn't he? He was performing sacrifice. What was he doing? He was offering the oblations of his flesh, his own flesh, into the fire to please Lord Shiva. That is sacrifice. So he wants to please Lord Shiva, and he was doing such difficult task, such difficult sacrifice, cutting his body, his flesh, and offering it. Kept on doing it. Ravana used to do this. In order to please Lord Shiva, he used to cut his head, offer them, and then laugh when those hair reappeared. He would laugh. Such amazing person I am. So this is also sacrifice. But what happened? Lord Shiva appeared, gave him the boon. What do you want? Why are you doing such ghastly sacrifice? Oh my Lord, I want to please you. Okay, I'm pleased. What do you want? oh, give me a boon, that whosoever I put my hand on, their head should burst. And Lord Shiva said, Tathastu. So the first person he wanted to kill is Lord Shiva. Disaster. This is also sacrifice. But this is the misdirected sacrifice. Because first of all, this demon is not understanding who is the master of sacrifices. Aham hi sarvayagyanam. Krishna is saying sarvayagyanam. So Krishna is saying aham hi sarvayagyanam bhokta cha prabhuryavcha. So Krishna is the enjoyer of all sacrifices. Then we have Lord Prithu, who did so many sacrifices on the planet of earth that in Srimad Bhagavatam 4th canto we hear the description that entire planet was flooded, was full of kushagrass, so many sacrifices. And who did it do this sacrifice for? Lord Vishnu. Then Lord Vishnu appeared. So that is the correct form of sacrifice. But sometimes we see people are doing so many kinds of sacrifices, many purposes, different purposes. So that's why the Lord is saying, Yoga Yagyas, so Dravya Yagya, then there is Yoga Yagya, Tapo Yagya. These are all sacrifices. Dravya Yagya is when you give something of your hard-earned money for the service of the Lord. Dravya Yagya. Like we see these Birla temples all over India. See, he was a pious man. He used to read Bhagavad Gita, Birla. He also gave donation for our temple here. Large donation at that time. His name is there at the entrance. Pious man. So that is also sacrifice, Dravya Yagya. Then Tapo Yagya. People perform austerities. So, there have been many yogis who perform austerities. But the ultimate aim of that austerity must be Krishna. Otherwise there will be disaster. Saubhari Muni, he was performing austerity here in Vrindavan, in Kalida. Austerities. Sitting in the water, in trance. But the ultimate purpose of his austerity was not Krishna, purely. Therefore, he became misdirected. Another problem is that he committed a Vaishnava aparadh. He cursed Garuda Deva. Don't come to Yamuna, this is my place. If you come here, I curse you will die. So he committed Vaishnava offense. What was the result of his austerity, Tapo Yagya? That he became misdirected and went to Maharaj Mandhata and married his 50 princesses, 50 daughters. Tapo Yagya, misdirected. But if it is directed for Krishna's service, like the devotees do Ekadashi Vrata, Kartik Vrata, Ramnavami, Janmashtami, we do these vratas. But the ultimate purpose of these vratas is to satisfy Krishna. Our Goswamis in Vrindavan were doing these austerities. But their ultimate aim was to simply satisfy Krishna. Then you achieve the ultimate perfection. Other types of sacrifices, if they are pertaining to Krishna, then the result is beneficial. If they are not pertaining to Krishna, then the result is disastrous. Just like Maharaj Drupad, he also did Putri Yagya. Find a son who can kill my enemy Dronacharya. Misdirected. Maharaj Dasarath, he did Putri Yagya. I want a son. I want the Supreme Lord Vishnu as my son. And Agni Dev appeared from the sacrifice, gave the pot of sweet rice. Yes, O great king, you take this sweet rice, give it to your queens. Maharaj Dasharatha went, gave half to Mother Kaushalya, then other half to Kaikeyi, then two halves to Sumitra. One half to Sumitra and the other one to Kaikeyi. So that way, Kaikeyi had one son, Sumitra had two sons, two halves. It's Putrishti. Two similar kind of sacrifices for desire to have a son. But here the desire is misdirected. I want a son who will kill Dronacharya. Maharaj Dasharatha, I want the Supreme Lord to become my son. And the result is the Supreme Personality of Lord Ramchandra became his son along with his brothers. So, Bhoktaram Yagastapasam Sarvalok Maheshwaram, accepting Krishna as the master of all the planetary systems. So in the modern age, scientists are trying to go to Mars. So even if they go to Mars or they go to Moon, what will they gain? If you hear the story of Sunita Williams, the Indian origin lady who went to space, and then she could not return on time. She is lucky that she came back alive. But living in space was horrific. Her story is horrific. She had to drink her own urine. Is it very good? Vedic literature tells you if you want to go to other planets, then you have to worship that kind of demigods. Yandi devavrata devan pitrinandi prativrata. Bhutani yandi bhutejya yandi madhya janopimam. So the ultimate master of sacrifices is Krishna. Therefore Krishna is known as Vishnu. Yagya. Yagyarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartham karma kaunte muktsanga samachar. The ultimate purpose of all these sacrifices is Krishna, Vishnu. So yajna should be performed for the satisfaction of Vishnu. What type of yajna is recommended for this age? Sankirtan yajna. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, the famous verse, Krishna Vanam Tusha Krishnam Sangha Pangastra Parshadam Yagya Sankirtanam Prai Yajantihi Samedasa. So in the age of Kali, the Lord is teaching everybody by his own example what sort of yajna should be performed. So in the Kali Yuga, in this age, iron age of Kali, Krishna with golden complexion is performing Sankirtan yajna. And therefore those who are endowed with good intelligence, they will perform Sankirtan yajna. And they will achieve the ultimate perfection just by simply performing Sankirtan yajna. Over the years, we have seen so many examples of devotees, the temples, who are very fixed on going out on Sankirtan, performing Sankirtan yajna. They achieve perfection. And there are many, many stories. One of the temples in the UK was burnt in fire. Leicester Temple, many years back. So the devotees were preparing Sunday feast, and then there was fire. The gas cylinder exploded. The entire building was burnt. Luckily, nobody died. Then what happened? The devotees were homeless. Krishna was homeless. No place for the deities, no place for the devotees. So they were doing Sankirtan yajna every day, just going out and doing Sankirtan. So for 1 year they were just going around from one place to another place, just doing Sankirtan. It carried on. They had no place of their own. They would rent some place, some Hindu mandir or some hall, and then do the Sunday program, festivals, but go out and do Sankirtan. So they carried on for 1 year, and now they have one of the most expensive, most elegant building in the center of the city in Leicester, and then have Radha Madhava deities installed there. And they're expanding like anything in so many ways. 2 schools, Goshala, deities, book distribution, so many activities are going on. Sankirtan Yajna. They were homeless, the deities were homeless, but they just carried on Sankirtan. In Prabhupada's time, devotees used to go out for how many hours? Minimum 8 hours a day. Sankirtan. Just Sankirtan on the street, book distribution. And the result was that the movement was spreading so rapidly. Why? Because that way we please the Supreme Lord. Yajna Sankirtan Praye Yajanti Sumedasa. Those who are endowed with good intelligence, they worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead through Sankirtan Yajna. In Brihad Bhagavatamritam, we find that Gopkumar, through Krama Mukti, he went to so many planetary systems. He went to Swargaloka, he went to Shivaloka, Brahmaloka, Shivaloka, Vaikuntaloka, Dwarka. But in Dwarka, Narad Muni found that for some reason, Gopkumar does not look happy. Although Lord Dwarkadhish is so merciful to him, Mother Lakshmi is so kind to him, they treat him like a son. But Gopkumar wasn't happy. So Narad Muni said to him that you go to the earthly planet and perform Sankirtan in Sridham Vrindavan. So Gopkumar came to Sridham Vrindavan, and here he performed Sankirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. After performing Sankirtan, one day Gopkumar went to Yamuna to take his bath. And suddenly he felt that he was being carried with fast speed somewhere. So he did not realize immediately. But he was carried by Mother Yamuna through sun planet to Golok Vrindavan. So this is the land where many demigods aspire to come to and perform Sankirtan. Because if you perform Sankirtan here in this land, then that Sankirtan takes you immediately back home, back to Godhead. There's no doubt about it. So this is the perfection of Yajna. Yajnarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. Then accepting Krishna as the enjoyer. This enjoying mentality is very subtle. To the extent we can give up the enjoying mentality in our life, to that extent we can become Krishna conscious. And it's very subtle. So whenever yat kurosi, yadashnasi, yat johosi, dadasi, yat tapasyasi kaunte, tat kurosi madarpanam. Whatever you eat, whatever you do, whatever sacrifices you perform, tat kurusu madarpanam. Yat tapasyasi, whatever austerities you do, tat kurusu madarpanam. If we simply offer that to Krishna, then that is the perfection of our activities. So accept Krishna as the enjoyer, and then Krishna is the master of all the planetary systems. And the purport Prabhupada says that even if somebody has a material desire, he should worship Krishna. We see in the example of Lord Jagannath. Lord Jagannath fulfills everybody's desires. Sometimes people who have material desires also come. So, it so happens that sometimes his devotees may have material desire. There's a real story of a Panda who worships Lord Jagannath in Puri. This is in our time, modern time, a recent history. So one Panda explained this story. That the first time when he went to worship Lord Jagannath, he was newly married. And he had a daughter. No, he was married, he had a daughter after some time. So he was thinking that my daughter is of a marriageable age. But I don't know how to arrange her marriage. So this married Grasta, Panda, he went to his service. And that day during his service, now there are many restrictions in Lord Jagannath's altar. You can't really go that near. A few years back, you could go very near to Lord Jagannath. Very, very near. Now they don't allow. So when he went to his night worship, his worship in the night, somebody came and he just threw lots and lots of these silver coins. So when he came home, he saw that there were so many coins just stuck to his dhoti. So when he took out his dhoti, there were so many silver coins. And those silver coins were just enough at that time to marry his daughter. Material desire. So this is what Prabhupada is saying in the purport, that even if somebody has material desire, it's better to pray to Krishna. Because if you have material desire and you are praying to Krishna, then Krishna will fulfill your desire in such a way that you will never ever ask again. Dhruv Maharaj, for example, he had material desire. And who did he approach to? Lord Vishnu, at the advice of Narad Muni. So Krishna fulfilled his desire in such a way that even if, when Krishna wanted to give him everything, he said, no. I was just looking for the broken glasses, pieces of broken glasses, my Lord. But you have given me the real diamond, the real jewel. I don't want anything. Dhruv Maharaj said to the Lord, Swamin Kritarthvasmi Varam Nayache. My dear Lord, now I'm completely fulfilled. I do not wish any more benediction from you. So, just to summarize the verse, in this verse, the Lord is saying that He is the real enjoyer of all the sacrifices and the master of all the planetary systems. Now, because people do not know this, they fall down. And during the course of lecture, you have heard many examples where learned people, very, very powerful people, they did not understand the ultimate aim of sacrifices, the ultimate master of all the planetary systems, and therefore they fell down. But devotees don't, because they understand this fact very well. Hare Krishna. We just have a couple of minutes, so if you have any question or comment. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you for the nice class.
Thank you.
You were mentioning about Stephen Hawking, the great scientist
Hmm.
from Cambridge.
Yeah.
So he was non-believer of God. So did he was not aware that how I am taking breath and how my system is working, like being so qualified, he was not aware of this.
No.
That, I am taking where what is the source from where it is coming and going?
His answer was that there's no logical, scientific reason to believe that God is supplying this air. Atheistic view.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why he wrote this book called Theory of Everything. So no matter what question you throw at him, he will give you an answer minus God.
Okay.
Okay. So that is the problem with atheistic people. That they study the nature, they accept material nature, but they will not accept God. Just like I gave you examples of Kansa. Yeah, he wanted to kill Krishna, and yet he worshipped Durga. Durga is a servant of Krishna. But he accepts Durga, but wants to kill Krishna. Ravana and Kashyapa, same thing. They worship Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and kill Vishnu. Wanted to kill Vishnu. So that is the atheistic idea. And these modern scientists, they carry that same kind of idea. They accept the nature, but not God.
So they are not aware that how nature is working, like how wind is blowing. Can a scientist create a wind, create some force that wind should be in opposite direction?
See, these kind of ideas, these arguments, they are good, but they have their own atheistic answers. They said there's no reason to believe that there is
They
God.
are envious of God.
Yes.
So Prabhupada didn't try to convince him like Stephen Hawking when he was traveling.
Stephen Hawking was still, I think, not so renowned at Prabhupada's time. He died a few years back. Okay. But Prabhupada challenged scientists at that time, all the top scientists of his time. Yeah. And his disciples carried on. Prabhupada established a Bhaktivedanta Institute to do that work. So that is the irony with great minds, that they have borrowed everything from God, yet they defy God. So they are living in their borrowed facilities given by God, and they defy God. So that is atheistic idea. Yeah.
Somebody can give a logic to them that if you are getting old, like Stephen Hawking, why are you getting old? You remain young forever. Because if God is not there, how your body is changing, deteriorating again and again every day. So that is the irony. They don't.
It's irony.
And they are aware that we are going towards death. We can't stop that. Even though they defy God.
Yeah.
Because they are envious.
It is, they are envious of God. Just like even in Krishna's time, so many people saw him, Duryodhana saw him, but he did not accept him. Duryodhana was so closely connected with Krishna. His daughter Lakshmana was married to Krishna's son, Jambavati's son, Samba. So he was closely connected with Krishna, and yet he was envious of Krishna. He did not accept Krishna. Shishupal, Dantavakra, they did not accept Krishna. And yet they knew Krishna, they were closely connected with Krishna, but did not accept him. So that's why Krishna is saying, Daivi hesa gunamayi, mama maya durattaya. Krishna's material energy is very, very difficult to overcome. That's why even a child in ISKCON who accepts Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is better than a great learning scientist who doesn't. Because a child's future is bright. He's going towards Krishna. But a great scientist, great mind, they may be, but they will be, they are being misdirected by material energy, and they will only see darkness in their life. So that's the irony. So we are very fortunate. Prabhupada has given us this process of Krishna consciousness, which is like Krishna says in the 9th chapter itself, Rajvidya Rajguhyam Pavitram Idmatvam Pratyaksh Augamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartumapyam. It can be joyfully performed, and at the end of the life, we know that we are simply going back to Krishna. So this is a boat called ISKCON. As long as we remain in this boat, our passage, our destination will be achieved in due course. But if you jump out of boat to go to another boat, then we are in trouble. So let's remain in this boat, because Prabhupada is the captain of this boat, and we are all safe under his teachings. His teachings are teachings of Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu's teachings are teachings of Krishna himself. So we are safe. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Even if we are not going back to Godhead in this life, if we are completing 10% of bhakti, then we are getting a next life very good, in a good family, Brahman family, where we can continue from there. As Prabhupada also said, it is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita.
But I think we should not take chance. So we should do everything possible to go back home within this lifetime, and then leave it in Krishna's hands. Everything possible. Not in a relaxed way. Just like when you're preparing for a very tough exam. Tough exam in India, tough exam means IAS, UPSC. So these are tough exams, or medical exam, medical entrance, or IIT entrance. Okay, tough exam. Now those who have gone through the preparation of exam, ask them. The idea is to do everything. Don't leave anything to chances. And then when the exam day comes, then you face the day. So that is the idea. Do everything. Revise everything. Understand everything. And do everything. And then leave in Krishna's hands. Guru in Krishna's hands. Because we are all going to go through the last exam. Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalebram. Ya prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshaya. Although Krishna is saying there is no doubt about it. But this Antakale cha mameva is smaran muktva kalebram. This is the toughest moment. Remembering Krishna at the time of death. Very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. But if we remain in the association of devotees, then the process becomes more or less seamless. It becomes easier with the help of devotees. Okay? Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Gruntaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Samved Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Gaur Pramanand.